Number 1. That eternal fire is prepared for him. Matthew chapter 25, verse 41. Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels." Jesus shares this during the parable of the sheep and the goats. Jesus begins the parable by stating that it is about his return to earth in glory to establish his kingdom. Matthew chapter 25. When that time comes, everyone who is alive on earth will be brought before the Lord, and he will sort them out just as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. Matthew chapter 25, verses 40 to 46. The king will answer and say to them, "I assure you, and most solemnly say to you, to the extent that you did it for one of these brothers of mine, even the least of them, you did it for me." Then he will say to those on his left, "Leave me, you cursed ones, into the eternal fire which has been prepared for the devil and his angels," demons. "For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me, with help and ministering care." Then they also in their turn will answer, "Lord, when did we see you hungry, or thirsty, or as a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister to you?" Then he will reply to them, "I assure you, and most solemnly say to you, to the extent that you did not do it for one of the least of these my followers, you did not do it for me." Then these unbelieving people will go away into eternal, unending punishment. But those who are righteous and in right standing with God will go by his remarkable grace into eternal, unending life. The goats will be placed on his left, and the sheep will be placed on his right. Those who are saved are represented by sheep, while those who were not are symbolized by goats. The sheep on Jesus' right hand are blessed by God the Father and given an inheritance. The goats on Jesus' left hand are cursed with eternal hellfire, prepared for the devil and his angels. It is explained that although they had the chance to serve the Lord in some capacity, they did not take advantage of that opportunity. The damned ask, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes, or sick or in prison and did not help you?" In other words, they are asking when they had the opportunity to assist Jesus Christ but did not. Jesus responds by saying, "I tell you the truth. Whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me." Jesus then concludes his teaching by drawing a contrast between the wicked and the righteous by saying, "They will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life." The good deeds that are described in the parable are not what leads to salvation. Rather, they are the result of being saved. As Christians, we are transformed into the image of Christ. Number 2. He snatches word from hearers. Jesus shares this during the parable of the sower. Matthew chapter 13, verse 19. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom regarding salvation and does not understand and grasp it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is the one on whom seed was sown beside the road. Matthew chapter 13, verses 3 to 9 contains the parable of the sower, which is also sometimes referred to as the parable of the four soils. The parable of the sower tells the story of a farmer who scatters seed across his field, and some of the seed lands on each of the four different kinds of ground. Matthew chapter 13, verses 3 to 9. He told them many things in parables, saying, "Listen carefully. A sower went out to sow seed in his field, and as he sowed, some seed fell beside the road, between the fields, and the birds came and ate it. Other seed fell on rocky ground where they did not have much soil, and at once they sprang up because they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Other seed fell among thorns, and thorns came up and choked them out. Other seed fell on good soil and yielded grain, some 100 times as much as was sown, some 60 times as much, and some 30. He who has ears to hear, let him hear, and heed my words. After presenting this parable to the multitude, Jesus interprets it for his disciples in Matthew chapter 13, verses 18 to 23. Listen then to the meaning of the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom regarding salvation, and does not understand and grasp it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is the one on whom seed was sown beside the road. The one on whom seed was sown on rocky ground, this is the one who hears the word and at once welcomes it with joy. Yet he has no substantial root in himself, but is only temporary. And when pressure or persecution comes because of the word, immediately he stumbles and falls away, abandoning the one who is the source of salvation. And the one on whom seed was sown among thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the worries and distractions of the world, and the deceitfulness, the superficial pleasures and delight of riches choke the word, and it yields no fruit. And the one on whom seed was sown on the good soil, this is the one who hears the word and understands and grasps it. He indeed bears fruit and yields, some 100 times as much as was sown, some 60 times as much, and some 30. The hard-packed pathway speaks of people who refuse to receive the message. They hear the gospel, but do not comprehend it, not because they can't, but because they won't. The birds are a picture of Satan. He snatches away the seed from the hearts of these hearers. He cooperates with them in their self-chosen barrenness. The Pharisees were hard-soil hearers.